All right, we are live this morning, and we want to welcome you all to our weekly webinar. This is Coach Manny. I got a great guest today, and we're really excited, like we all are every week, when we can bring you a fantastic piece of information to help you in making more money. And you know what I always say, we got to double our sales, and we got to rock, because that's what everything's about. Today, we're going to talk about one of those subjects that so many people hit gray area in, and I've decided, let's bring in one of the best. So we're going to talk about branding. So let me just say hi to Carol Ann DeSimone, who's with us today. And Carol Ann, you want to just say hi a minute?
Hey, everybody. So glad to be here and share some great information with you.
All right. We'll let Carol Ann talk a little bit more about herself and who she is in a minute. Just some housekeeping. Don't forget, we're here every week. Next week, we're hoping to broadcast live from the slopes, but we'll see how that goes. We may have to do a pre-broadcast. Last week, we were on Meerkat. Today, we're going to try to get on there for part of this as well. We always try to get the information out. We're always here to help you. So, you hear me every week, so I talk enough. So let's get to our guest today, Carol Ann, and let's start really by, Carol Ann, just tell us a little bit about you, who you are, why we should be listening to you, I guess.
Well, you should listen to me, Manny, because I am awesome and I sizzle. How's that?
Oh, I love
it. No, I am Carol Ann DeSimone, and I call myself a branding expert and a visibility strategist. I've been in business since 2006. I became an entrepreneur when I started a business called Big Eye Media, which was a lot of creative services that I provided. And I found that it was a little bit difficult to really pinpoint to people what it was that I actually did. And they would come to me for print marketing and things like that, brochures. And I found that I really wasn't making the impact that I wanted to make with them by having them, contact me for a business card. I felt I was just putting a Band-Aid on their business rather than really help their business grow. And it actually was a result of my having to come up with a talk topic for the local Rotary when I started researching what was hot nowadays. I didn't want to talk about print marketing. I was in a transition mode. And so I came across this thing called personal branding, and the light bulb went off. Personal branding, this is what I have been doing all along. My background is in public relations. I have a master's degree. It's all about targeting your market, creating an image that you want to portray, getting very, very clear on your messaging, all the stuff that I've been doing. So I just started calling myself a personal branding expert ultimately, and put all those things under the umbrella of personal branding. So that's my story in a nutshell of how I came to become a personal branding expert.
No problem. That's what we're looking for, because I think people really, people want to understand what exactly that branding is. And, it means many things to many people. So I think we'll start with, give us a definition of what that really means.
Okay, Manny, I am going to read my definition, because this is the working definition that I use as it applies to the Sizzle system of personal branding. So personal branding is the process by which you, the entrepreneur, differentiate yourself and stand out from the crowd by identifying your core values and articulating your unique value proposition, and then leveraging it across platforms with a consistent message and image to achieve a specific goal. And by doing this, you build self-confidence, establish your reputation and credibility, and create recognition as an expert in your field.
Okay, so bam, That's the
Yeah.
definition. What does that mean? Give me it in a few simple words for our audience.
Okay, so your personal brand really starts with who you are and what you stand for. So you really need to get clear on what your values are and what your value is in the marketplace. Many entrepreneurs, especially nowadays, I mean, with the economic downturn, you see there's a lot of competition out there. The market is saturated. You have to figure out, why would somebody come to you as a sales coach instead of the next person? Basically, it's your values, it's what you stand for. So you get very clear on that, your business model, your positioning. Then you really need to figure out who has the problem that you solve, I call it your dream client. First, you build your tribe. Within that tribe is your dream client. And then from there, you really have to learn how to articulate that value in a copy that you put out there. Your slogan, focusing on benefits, the outcome rather than the doing so much. So there's a lot of the inner work that goes into the branding, but then comes the outer work, which is your marketing copy that's on your website and in everything else that you put out there, other than your bios. Your bios is articulating who you are, but your web copy and your marketing copy is written to your dream client to attract them to you. And then you have your visual identity, which is not about what you like, but about what is going to attract the type of client that you want to work with. And then ultimately, it's all about establishing yourself as the expert in your field. And that's where your brand really shines.
Okay.
And that means something different to everybody as well.
Yeah, that's why I wore my shirt today, because this is my brand. I got to have the Hawaiian shirt.
All right.
To make people know who I am. So, why is it important for an entrepreneur to be her or his own brand? Why is that important?
Well, as you know, Manny, people do business with people. And people look for certain things in who they want to do business with. If you want to attract high-end clients, you're going to put yourself out there as someone who is looking for high-end clients. You don't have to go about saying that, but by really developing yourself as that person, that's what you'll attract. So you really need to make it clear on what you stand for and what your positioning is. And that's part of what personal branding does. Because, I mean, you can't look at the next person and say, this person does this, because that business model, that whatever that is, might not fit who you are. And I understand that authenticity is an overused buzzword nowadays.
Right.
But it really is about showing up with authenticity and developing relationships. And the people who resonate with you that's who you'll end up doing business with.
Great. So you're an expert in branding, and you've done a lot of work with a lot of people. And so tell me, I guess one of the things our audience, one of the questions that's always there is, why is it important to hire a branding expert over, we hire graphics designers, we hire marketing experts, we hire all these people. How do you position in there, and why is it important?
Okay, this is an excellent question, Manny, because it's hard to articulate that. Why a branding expert? Why not just a graphic designer? So I'm going to give you an example, because I am a graphic designer. And that's what sets me apart from other people who call themselves branding experts, because everybody has their own set of talents. Mine just happens to be a lot of the done-for-you services I can do for you. So if somebody comes to me for a business card, okay, they need a new business card designed. okay, fine. What do you want on it? What do you want it to look like? I will design a nice business card. They'll have an awesome business card that looks great. If they hire me as a branding expert, well, I will say, well, what do you want this business card to achieve for you? What do you want your call to action to be? Shouldn't you have a slogan or a tagline that's going to really communicate your benefits in that little bit of real estate that you have? It's more about me creating a vision for my clients when they hire me as a branding expert, as opposed to just, hey, I need a business card. Can you do this for me? And I create a nice business card and get it printed for them. So the branding expert part comes in with the vision and really the larger vision, the longer term relationship, and working with them on so many different levels.
Okay.
I call it marketing from the inside out.
Okay, great. Yeah, and I know a lot of us need that because we got stuff all over the place sometimes. I remember going through a lot of transitions over the years, and all of a sudden you have 16 different things and none of them match. And
yes.
so
And that's called a piecemeal approach. Yeah. You want to do it all together. And yes, it's an investment, but you're not necessarily paying any more if you do it all at once than if you did it a little bit at a time.
Okay, so you're a branding coach. So tell me what a branding coach does for me as an entrepreneur.
Yes. So again, we have the done for you services, the visual identity, that's part of it. A branding coach, there's so many different levels in the branding process. Branding is a process. So again, starting from the inside out, we figure out really what is the best way for you to get in front of your audience, what is the best way for you to communicate your value. And again, it depends on everybody's needs. Branding includes your signature system. If you're somebody who wants to develop a signature system, that's part of your brand. I can help you do that. Your signature talk, that's part of your brand. I can help you do that as well. So the coaching process is a much longer process. Obviously, it's over the course of several months, but it really does create a greater outcome of who you are, who you want to be, how you're going to get in front of the people who need you. And there's a lot of teaching that goes on too, because people want to learn how to do things themselves. I am a strategist. I teach people how to do certain things, whether it's, getting their social media together or whatever. But so the coaching is really coming from many, many different areas, depending on what the client needs.
Okay, great. Isn't she great? I mean, this is good stuff. As we get near the halfway point here, I just want to take a break for 1 minute and let you know about that great event we have coming up. In less than a month, we're going to have another one of our exciting boot camps, and hopefully someday in the future, we're going to have Carol Ann there talking with us. This one, she's wrapped up, so we can't put her in this one, but we'll get her on an event in the near future. Just let me share with you. Let's see if I got this slide right today. Let's see if it works. Yeah, there it is. You can always go to my website and we have the information. This is going to be a great one day because a lot of you said, can't make it 2 days, Manny. Too much. One day, March 16th. Go out there and check it out. You like Carol Ann, you like what she's presenting. We have a whole day full of this kind of stuff. So please join us. Anyhow, let's get back to you and back to the process here, because I want to talk next about your product, because you have a great tool out there. We all talk about the branding and stuff, but you have this thing called the Sizzle system. So tell us, what exactly is that?
Whoa, the Sizzle system, you know, most people have a book, right? I have my system, my unique branded system, and I love it. I love it. The Sizzle system is a 6-step process that takes entrepreneurs through the branding process, really. And it's 6 modules. It is an acronym. S stands for Shine Your Light, and that's where we get really clear on core values, business model, what you stand for, all that sort of thing. I, identify your dream client. That's where you figure out the pain that you solve and the pleasure you provide with your clients. And we get very, very clear on that one person that is your ideal client, because that's who you're going to be speaking to. The first Z is zig when everyone else zags. And that is that's learning how to toot your own horn, because, you know, Manny, so many people, most of us are taught to be very humble and not talk about ourselves, but we really do need to talk about what makes us shine in our bios and everything else. When, you know, our 30-second commercial.
Go ahead.
Yeah, but, you know, because you've been in the game for a while. So it's also about using your story to connect with your audience. And then the second Z is zero in with compelling marketing copy. And that's where we learn how to speak to our audience to get them to act in all your web copy, everything you put out there pretty much. And this is it in a nutshell. L is lure them with your look. And that's where we talk about visual identity, your logo. And not every entrepreneur needs a logo right away, but certainly you do need a look. And when I say look, that also includes your tagline, the benefits-driven tagline or slogan, your business name. And also in there, we talk about like SEO, how to get people to find you, content development, consistency of your messaging. Again, what you stand for, what you want to say, and that really does need to have some consistency and regularity. And then E is elevate your expert status. And that's where we talk about what is the best way for you to get in front of the people who need you. Is it media placement? Is it blogging? Is it speaking, video, whatever that might be? So that is the Sizzle system. That's my system. And I started doing this as a group training. I do it a couple times a year. It's now available as a self-study program. But this is what all my work is based upon. So when I work with somebody one-on-one, this is really the basis of what we do before we get into anything else. It's really more personalized.
So it's a self-study course that people could buy the self-study, or they can buy it and work with you. Oh, that's great. That's
great. Yeah, I do it live. But right now I am offering it as a self-study, and you do get some one-on-one time with me if you purchase the self-study.
Is a book on the horizon? Or is that?
Yes, I've been working on my book for 2 years.
Okay, so there is a book on the horizon. Good. Yeah. Good. You talk a little bit in your process about this thing called the sizzle factor. Tell me what that is, because I like that. I like to have a sizzle factor.
So in essence, it has 2 meanings. One is your sizzle factor is really what sets you apart from the next person who does what you do. And so you have to really figure that out and get that out there. But on a more personal, intimate level, your sizzle factor really is that spark that each of us has within us. And I want to help entrepreneurs ignite that spark to really shine and to really get their brilliance out there. And once they do that, once that spark gets ignited, then they really do start to show up with confidence and conviction in what they stand for and who they are. And it really is about building a client attraction based business. So when you are confident, when you really put forth what you're about and people get that, they start coming to you. It's less work for you, the entrepreneur, because you're not chasing after clients. You really are shining now with in all your brilliance. Your sizzle factor is bright as can be. And it's just, you know, drawing people to you.
Yeah. So we're all excited. Everybody's got to get into this sizzle system because this, you know, we all want to draw those clients. So someone hires you, what's the number one outcome that they can expect?
Well, the ultimate outcome
Great.
is more clients and more money. That's always what you want, right?
Exactly.
But I would say that the number one outcome is clarity. And that's a little bit hard to communicate sometimes, but clarity really is the wellspring of everything else. Once you have that clarity, then you can really get your business out there in the way that you can really show up in the way that you need to show up.
Okay, great. So, let's see where we're at. We got a few more minutes. One of the most common mistakes that entrepreneurs make when it comes to branding, because I think we probably make a lot of them.
Oh, well, the number one that I hear all when I say, oh, I'm a personal branding expert, the number one reaction is, I don't need that. I just got a new logo. Or people just have this conception that your brand is your logo. No, that's part of your brand. That's what stands for you. Your look stands for you when you're not around, but branding goes so much deeper than that. Another mistake that I see, people get their branding done and nothing changes. Nothing changes overnight. They get impatient and then they want to change their branding again. Well, it takes time. I've seen in the clients that I've worked with that it really is a longer process to people. This is another thing that people don't really get, because it kind of surprised me. When I rebranded, I lost some clients. People started looking at me like I had three heads because they really didn't get what branding was or the sizzle system, and they saw me as this graphic designer, photographer type. So it took, and now those clients are coming back to me because it takes a while to get your brand out there and for people to feel comfortable with it. And the people that I worked with, say last year when I first rebranded, now I see it. It's amazing. They really are known to be the expert in their field. So consistency is key, and you really have to stick with it. So many of us get impatient and we want to change when we don't see instant results, but you really do have to be patient and just trust in the process.
Wow. And you see what I think you just gave our audience, which I think I just want to make sure everybody got it, is you just saw Carol Ann a testimony to using her own branding. Okay, you just heard that. So if I use my own tool, gosh, then everybody else should be using it. So we got to wrap up here shortly. Anything exciting on the horizon for the sizzle system that you would like our viewers to know? and I'm going to put your contact data up here in a minute too. So go ahead and speak to us.
Yeah, I would love everybody to go to thesizzlesystem.com and sign up for my 7 strategies to branding success, because that's my manifesto. That is going to get you onto my newsletter, and I have some amazing things coming up. We'll be doing a telesummit. Manny's going to be one of my speakers, so I want you to make sure you get all the information for that. That's happening in April. And that's going to be called Sizzle to Abundance. And who doesn't want to have a more abundant business and life in general? The other thing that's going on is that I have my Sizzle to Six Figures Inner Circle, which is my mastermind format program. And I start that every 90 days. So I'm going to be promoting that again. And what else? I have a couple spots open for my total makeover package. I do work with clients on a limited basis on their visual identity. And of course, I have my Sizzle System self-study program. So if you go to thesizzlesystem.com and go to my events page, you can always see what's hot at the moment.
Okay, so we put that up there. Hopefully, guys, we're going to throw that back up there again for another minute here. Get to Carol's site. If you have any questions, your phone number was there, so I'm sure our audience can give you a buzz. Let's see. Anything else you want to offer to our audience at this point? Share with us anything else that you feel is important.
Well, I like to end by saying, just remember that the same qualities that you reflect are the qualities that you're going to attract. And that when it comes to personal branding, you never have any competition, because only you do what you do the way that you do it.
All right. Wow. I think we got a great amount of information today from our guests. I want to thank you for being here with us today. And you've got Carol's contact data there. Let me just throw that up here one more time as I can talk while we share that. I think I can talk while we share that anyway. Let's throw it up here. Okay. Yeah, there's the contact data. You can find her. You know, we're here every Friday. We're just excited that you were with us today. You know, the caliber of our guests you've seen, Carol Ann, today, just outstanding stuff here. And we aim to deliver that for you, and not just on our weekly hangout, but also on our events that we bring in. And remember, you can watch this video again, if you didn't get a chance to see it all or whatever, just go out to the YouTube channel. Carol, I think, is going to put a copy of it up on her place as well. So we're always here to help you. It's exciting. Let me just share one more thing with you here, and then we'll say thank you to our guest, and we'll close out. Don't forget our exciting boot camp coming up. Yeah, there it is, March 16th. We're actually working in conjunction with Rowan College at Gloucester County, and also with the South Jersey Business Institute, which has some great new stuff. It's a one-day. Go out to my website and connect there. Carol Ann, I want to really thank you for being with us today. Any final word to the audience before we sign off?
I'd love to hear from everybody who's watching. I mean, I just love to talk to people. So give me a call, connect. And I want to thank you for having me here, Manny. It really was a pleasure.
My pleasure as always. So again, thank you. And we will see you again next week on the Weekly Hangout.